Welcome back to Minecraft. I'm Dave, and today we're going to be doing a pixel art tutorial and showcase of the New England Patriots logo. I figured it'd be a good time to take this on. This was actually a suggestion by a viewer, Angel Anzures, and I told him I'd build it for him. And also it's a good time because obviously they're going to be playing in the Super Bowl this season. So, this is what the logo is going to look like at the end. There are some parts in the video where I kind of do a teeny bit of free building, especially with the star logo there in the hat. So hopefully you can follow that. It shouldn't be too complicated. It's just a minor change that I make from the original structure while I'm building it. So let's go ahead and get into this build. Alright, so for this build we're going to need a few different types of wool. The first is we're going to need white wool, blue wool, light gray wool, and red wool. So let's go ahead and get started here. As you can see, we have one piece of white wool already down. We're going to go ahead and lay a piece of white wool to the left of that. So we have a base of 2 white wool. Now directly above these pieces of white wool, we're going to add 2 pieces of our blue wool. Now on both the left and right of this blue wool, we're going to put 1 piece of white wool. We're going to go ahead and move up another level. Here on the right hand side, we're going to go ahead and put 1 piece of blue directly above that piece of white we placed. To the left of that, we're going to put 2 pieces of the light gray wool, followed by 1 piece of blue wool. Now again on the left and right hand side, we're going to go ahead and place 1 piece of white wool on both spots. We're going to go ahead and move up another level. We'll start here on the right hand side. Directly above the piece of white wool, we're going to place 1 more piece of white wool, followed by 1 piece of blue wool to the left of that, followed by 1, 2, and 3 pieces of our light gray wool. To the left of that, we're going to place 1 piece of blue wool, followed by 1 piece of our white wool. Go ahead and move over here to the right hand side. Now we're going to come in 1 block from the right, so we're going to be above this blue wool here. We're going to go ahead and throw down 1 piece of white wool. Now to the left of that, we're going to go ahead and put down 1 piece of our blue wool, followed by 3 pieces of the light gray. 1, 2, and 3. Again, we place 1 piece of blue wool to the left of this, followed by 1 piece of white wool. Start from the right hand side again. We're going to move up 1 more level. We're going to put down 1 piece of the white wool directly above that white wool, followed by 3 pieces of blue wool to the left of that. So 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to put 2 pieces of light gray wool to the left of that. So 1 and 2, followed by 1 piece of blue wool, and then 1 piece of the white wool. Go ahead and move to our right hand side again. We'll switch to our blue wool. So directly above our white wool here, we're going to go ahead and throw down 1 piece of blue wool. Now to the right hand side of that, we're going to put 1 piece of white wool. On the left hand side, we're going to place 6 blocks of the light gray wool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. To the left of this, we're going to place down 1 piece of our blue, followed by 2 pieces of the white. 1 and 2. We'll go ahead and start from the right hand side again. So now right here, we're going to go ahead and move up 1 block. Above this piece of white wool, we're going to throw down 1 more piece of white wool. To the right hand side of that, we're going to throw down another piece of white wool. Now on the left hand side, we're going to switch to our blue wool, put 1 piece of blue wool, followed by 7 pieces of the light gray. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now right here is where we're actually going to swap. Instead of doing 1 piece of our blue wool, we're actually going to do 2 this time. So 1, 2, followed by 1 piece of the white wool. Now we're going to go ahead and move again to the right hand side. Now directly above our far right piece of white wool, we're actually going to put down 1 piece of the blue wool. To the right of that, we are going to go ahead and throw down one piece of white wool. And on the left-hand side, we're actually going to throw down 3 pieces of blue wool. So 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to switch to our light gray, put down 3 pieces of this, 1, 2, and 3. To the left of this, we're going to put down 1 piece of blue wool, followed by 4 pieces of light gray. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to go ahead and switch to our blue, put down 1 piece of blue, followed by 2 pieces of white wool. So 1, 2. So right here, as you can see, we're starting to hit the edge of the face here on the left-hand side. I'm not going to continue on with the blue because I'm going to fill that in later, and I'm going to speed it up, but I'm going to give you a nice boundary that you can follow to fill in with the blue. So let's go ahead and finish off this face. We'll leave the blue area. We'll start to work on the hat, like the red portion that's at the back left of it. So let's go ahead and go back to the right-hand side. Directly above this piece of white wool here, we're going to throw down 1 more piece of white wool. To the left of that, we're going to switch to our blue, throw down 1 piece of blue. Now we need to build 7 pieces of the light gray. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now to the left of that, we're going to put down 2 pieces of our blue wool. So 1 and 2. To the left-hand side of this, we're going to go ahead and throw down 2 pieces of light gray. So 1, 2. Now right here, we're just going to go ahead and put down 1 piece of this blue wool. So now what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and go back to the right-hand side. We're going to move in 1 block from the right. So above our blue here, we're going to go ahead and throw down 1 piece of white wool. To the left-hand side of that, we're going to switch to our blue wool. We're going to put down 1 block of blue. Now, we're actually going to have to build, I think it's going to be about 8. Basically, we're going to end up right here with our light gray. We'll go ahead and count it out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So it's exactly what I thought it would be. Now to the left of that, we're going to add 2 pieces, we'll actually do 3 pieces of blue wool, because this will touch the side of the face. So 1, 2, and 3. So as you can see, that's going to be the outside boundary of the face and the start of the hat. So come back over here to the right-hand side again. We're going to move up exactly 1 level. We're going to add 1 piece of white wool, followed by 1 piece of blue wool. And then we're going to build gray all the way to the left until we hit this block right here, because this is our outside edge of the face. We'll go ahead and build that up for you. So I'll go ahead and do the count for that. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 blocks of our light gray. We'll go ahead and move up another level now. We're actually going to move in 1 block to the left-hand side, and we're going to be placing a white piece of wool directly above our blue wool here. So 1 piece of white wool, followed by 1 piece of blue wool. Now we're going to add 2 pieces of light gray, so 1 and 2, followed by 4 pieces of blue wool. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now to the left-hand side of that, we're going to add 3 pieces of our light gray, so 1, 2, and 3, followed by 1 piece of blue. Alright, so as you can see, our face is coming right along here. So we're going to go ahead and move up a level and do the next little bit here. So we're actually going to start kicking out to the right-hand side of the structure. So right up above this piece of white wool, we're actually going to throw down 1 piece of blue wool. To the right-hand side of this, we're actually going to put down 2 pieces of our white wool. So 1 and 2. To the left-hand side, we're going to put down 1 piece of blue wool, followed by 1 piece of light gray. We're going to switch back to our blue wool and put down 4 pieces of blue to the left of that. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now to the left of this, we're going to put down 3 pieces of light gray, 1, 2, and 3, followed by 1 piece of our blue wool. So that's forming the boundary. As you can see, we're starting to come back in and kind of make the top of the head here. So we'll go ahead and move over here to the right-hand side again. Now above our piece of white wool here, we're going to put down 1 piece of blue. To the right-hand side of that, we're going to put 1 piece of white. Now to the left of this, we are going to add 5 pieces of our blue wool. I just needed to figure out where I wanted to end up. Basically, we're going to end up right here above this part of the eye. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now to the left hand side of that, we're going to add 5 pieces of our light gray. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, followed by 1 piece of blue wool. And now we can pretty much cap off the top of the head here. So we'll just actually start right here above this light gray, and we'll just build it all the way across to the right hand side until we hit this last piece of blue here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now we're going to go ahead and switch to our white wool here. We'll put down 1 piece of that. Now, like I said, I want to do the boundary of the hat because I'm just going to fill it in sped up mode. I don't really want to waste your time with watching me throw down a bunch of blue blocks. But we will work on the star here in a second. But before we do that, I'm just going to make the boundaries of the hat. So from here, we're going to build up 2 pieces of white wool. So 1, 2. Now up above that, we're going to put down 1 piece of blue because to the right hand side of that, we're going to start another row of our white. So we're going to add 1 piece of white wool to the right hand side of that. Now above that white wool, we're going to add 2 pieces of white wool. So 1, 2. Again, we're going to put down 1 piece of blue wool here. We're going to build to the right hand side 1 piece of white wool. Above that, we're going to add 2 pieces of white wool. So 1 and 2. Above that, we're going to throw down 1 piece of our blue. To the right hand side of that, we're actually going to add 1 piece of white. And up above that blue, we're going to add 1 piece of white. Now to the left hand side of this piece of white wool we just added, we're going to add 1 more piece of white wool. Underneath that, we're going to add 1 piece of blue wool. To the left hand side of that blue wool that we just placed, we are going to build 3 pieces of white wool. So 1, 2, and 3. To the left hand side of that, we're going to add 1 piece of our blue wool. Up above that piece of blue wool, we're going to add 3 pieces of white wool. So 1, 2, and 3. To the left hand side of that, we're going to add 1 piece of blue wool. Up above that blue wool, we're going to add 1 piece of white. And we're going to build 3 to the left of that. So 1, 2, and 3. So as you can see, that's a row of 4. So we switched from 3 to a row of 4 white wool this time. Now to the left hand side of this, we're going to go ahead and put another piece of blue wool. Up above that, we're going to add 1 piece of white wool, followed by 2 more blocks to the left of that of white wool. So 1, 2. So as you can see, we're kind of making a neat little stair step here for our hat. Now we're going to add 1 piece of blue to the left of that white wool there. And then we're going to add quite a few white right here because we're at the peak of the hat here. So we're going to add, let's do 11 to start out with. And then we'll work on the bottom piece. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Alright, so I think that's going to be about good right there. We'll stop right there with the top, and we'll start working from the bottom up to that point. Alright, so this is what we're looking like here. We're going to go ahead and focus on the bottom portion of the hat here. So we're going to build that up, going up to the left, and we're going to try to meet this top portion that we just built. So, up above this piece of white, we're just going to go ahead and build over 2 pieces of blue wool there. We'll switch to our white wool and we'll add 2 pieces of that going left. Now up above that far left piece, we're going to go ahead and add 1 piece of our blue wool. To the left hand side of that, we're going to add 3 pieces of white wool. So 1, 2, and 3. Now up above this far left piece, we're going to add 1 piece of blue wool again, followed by 3 pieces of white wool. So 1, 2, and 3 pieces of the white wool. We're going to go ahead and move up another level. Above this far left side, we're going to put down 1 piece of our blue wool there. To the left hand side of that, we're going to go ahead and switch to our white wool and put down 3 pieces of that. So 1, 2, and 3. We'll move up 1 more level now from this left hand side, put down 1 piece of blue wool, followed by 5 pieces of our white. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Move up a level. We're going to put down 1 piece of blue here on the far left side. We're going to add 1 piece of white wool to the left of that. Now up above this piece of blue wool, we're going to add 1 piece of white wool. To the right hand side of that, we're going to add another piece of our white wool. To the right hand side of this, we're going to add 1 piece of blue wool. Above this piece of blue wool that we just placed, we're going to go ahead and throw down 3 pieces of white wool going to the right. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to go ahead and put down another piece of blue wool here, just so we kind of know where our boundary is there. Up above that piece of blue wool, we're going to go ahead and put 1 piece of white wool. Now from here, we're actually going to have to build to the right hand side 6 pieces of white wool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now to the left hand side of that piece that we added, we're actually going to be adding, let's see, about 8 pieces of white wool going to the left hand side. So let's go ahead and do that now. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, whoops, there's 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So as you can see, there should be about a 2 block overhang from this far left piece here. So there we go, we have 2 extra blocks going to the left there. Now we're actually going to be switching to red wool because this is where the red wool portion of the hat is. So to the left hand side of this, we're going to add 1 piece of the red wool. Go ahead and switch back to your white, move down a level, add 1 piece of white, and 1 piece of white to the left of that. Go ahead and switch back to your red wool, put down 1 piece of that to the left of that white you just placed. Now below that piece of red, we're going to go ahead and build down 1, and then we're going to build to the left 6. So here we go. So there's down 1. To the left of this, we're going to add 6 pieces of white wool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're going to move up. We're going to go ahead and throw down 1 piece of the red wool. You know what? Actually, we'll just finish this row. So from here, we're going to the right. We're going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now to the left-hand side of this red that we just placed, we're going to go ahead and put down 4 pieces of white wool. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. To the left-hand side of this, we're going to put down 1 piece of red wool. Now below this, we're going to add 1 piece of white, followed by 4 pieces of white going to the left. So here's our 1 down. We're going to add 4 to the left. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now up above this, we're just going to fill all the way across with red right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Going to the right, we're going to add 1 piece of white wool to the left of that. Now from here, we're going to go ahead and move in a block from here. So above this piece of red, we're going to put down 2 pieces of white wool. Now to the right hand side of that, we're going to go ahead and put down 5 pieces of red. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to go ahead and put down 5 pieces of our white. So let's go ahead and do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now to the right of this, we're going to go ahead and throw down 6 pieces of our red. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's our 6th, as you can see, because we met up with that portion right there. Let's go ahead and start out here on this left-hand edge again. So this time we're going to move in these 2 blocks of white right here above this red wool that we placed. We're going to go ahead and put down 2 pieces of white wool going to the right. So 1 followed by 2. Now we're going to move up. Actually, we won't move up. Let's go ahead and continue to build across. Let's switch back to our red wool here. We're going to build 4 pieces of red wool going to the right. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, from here, we're going to go ahead and add 8 pieces of our white wool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Go ahead and switch back to your red wool here. And from here, we're going to add 8 pieces of red wool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We'll go ahead and swap out to our white wool right here. And we will add 8 pieces of white wool. And that should bring us so that we are 1 block in from the right there. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. As you can see, we're 1 block in from there. Okay, so now let's go ahead. We'll actually start this time on this right-hand side. So as you can see, here is where our red is. We're going to start right here on this white wool to the right of the red. We're going to add 1 piece of white wool there. Now, building to the left, we are going to add 5 pieces of red wool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, to the left of that, we're going to go ahead and add 7 pieces of white wool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. To the left-hand side of what we just added there, we're going to go ahead and add 7 pieces of red wool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now what that does here is we're going to add 1 piece of white wool right there to the left-hand side of that red that we just placed. Alright, so now we're going to move up. We're going to move in 1 block to the right, so we're not building above the white that we just placed. We're going to go ahead and build 2 blocks of our white wool going to the right. So 1 and 2. So from here, we're going to go ahead and switch to our red wool again, and we're going to put down 8 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 going to the right-hand side. Now we're going to switch back to our white, and we're going to throw down 7 blocks of white. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Switch back to red. We're going to put down 1 and 2 blocks of the red. Moving to the right-hand side of that, we're going to put down 1 piece of white wool. Directly above that white wool, we're going to put down 1 piece of white wool. We're going to add 1 block of white wool to the right-hand side. Now to the left-hand side, we are going to go ahead and add 6 pieces of white wool going left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now from here, what we are going to do is we're going to switch to our red wool, and we're going to add 7 pieces of red wool again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whoops, and there's our 7th. I made a little gap there. Now to the left-hand side of that, we're going to add 4 pieces of white wool. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's where we are there. So we're going to move in these 4 blocks of white to this first block of red here on the left-hand side, and we're going to add right up above that 1 piece of white wool. To the right-hand side of that, we're going to add 1 and 2 more pieces of white wool. We'll go ahead and switch to our red wool now. From here, we are going to add 9 pieces of red wool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So as you can see, we're kind of above this left block of this lower red stripe on the hat. So now to the right-hand side of that, we're going to switch to our white wool, and we're going to add 8 blocks going to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so now we're going to see where this red wool is here on this side. We're going to move 1 block to the right here on this first piece of white wool. We're going to add 1 block right there of white wool. Go ahead and switch to your red wool now. We're going to go ahead and throw down 3 blocks, actually 6 blocks, what am I talking about? 6 blocks of red wool going to the left-hand side. 3 blocks, that's not enough. Anyways, we're going to throw down 6 blocks of red wool going to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now to the left-hand side of that, we're going to throw down 3 pieces of white wool. So 1, 2, and 3. So as you can see, we're starting to come together really nicely. Those are some really nice stripes that are coming together there on the outside. So, moving onward, We're going to skip these 3 pieces of white wool that we just threw down. We're going to start on this first red block here. And we're going to go ahead and add our 3 red wool block, or white wool blocks, excuse me. 1, 2, and 3. Now to the right hand side of that, we're going to put down 3 pieces of red wool. So 1, 2, and 3. To the right hand side of that, we're going to throw down 1 piece of white wool. We will move up a level and we will put down 4 pieces of white wool going to the left hand side. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we've completed both of our red stripes on the left hand side of the hat for our Patriot logo. So now to the right hand side of this piece of white wool, we're going to add 1 piece of blue wool because we're moving into the blue wool portion of the hat again. Above this piece of blue wool, we will add 1 block of white followed by 1 block of white to the right of that. Now from there, we're going to go ahead and add 1 block of blue to the right of that. Directly above that, we're going to add 1 block of white wool. To the right hand side of that, we're going to add 1 and 2 blocks of our white wool. To the right hand side of that, we're actually going to add a piece of blue wool. And directly above that, as you can see, we need 1 more piece of white wool so that we meet up. And there we go. So the hat is now complete, at least the outside edge of it. So now from here, what we need to do is we need to focus on building the star, which is going to go in this portion of the hat right here. Then we will go ahead and fill it in. I'll speed it up when we fill it in with blue wool. So let's go ahead and try to fill in this star logo here. So I think the best idea here would be to give ourselves a nice little boundary on this right hand side of blue wool. So every spot that we see this white wool, we're going to cover it with some blue. So starting right here, as you can see, we're on this outside edge of white. We're going to come in here inside the hat. We're going to add 2 blocks of blue wool there. Directly above this piece of blue wool, we're going to add 2 pieces of blue wool. And above this, we're going to add 1 and 2 pieces of blue wool. Alright, now that we have this kind of nice border that we created for ourselves, let's go ahead and build up another row of blue so that we can go ahead and start our star. So we're going to start here on the right hand side and we're going to build it all the way across till we touch that other blue over there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So as you can see, we just have another row there. Now let's start here on this right hand side. From here, we're going to build 1 more piece of blue wool going to the left, followed by 1 piece of white wool, followed by 3 pieces of blue wool, 1, 2, and 3, followed by 1 piece of white wool. Let's go ahead and move up a level. We're going to switch back to our blue wool. We're going to go ahead and throw down 3 pieces of our blue here. So 1, actually let's just put down 2 pieces of blue, 1 and 2. Now to the left hand side of that, we're going to put down 1, 2 pieces of our white, followed by 1 piece of blue, followed by 2 pieces of white, 1, 2. Move up another level. From here, we're going to add 3 pieces, actually just 2 pieces of blue again, because we've already got a piece of blue down here. So 1, 2 coming in from the right hand side. Switch to your white wool. Go ahead and throw down 5 pieces of white. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to build in 1 piece of blue wool coming in from the right. So 1, followed by 7 pieces of white wool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now we're going to go ahead and move up another level, and we're going to add 4 pieces of blue wool. 1, 2, 3, 4, followed by 3 pieces of white. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to build right here in the center of this is just going to be the tippy top of our star there. So we can go ahead and add that. And then we can just build our blue going to the right. That is a terrible looking star. Not just, it's about as good as we can get with the proportions that we have. One thing that we might be able to do that may make it look better is maybe knock that out right there. You have your left and right arms. Go ahead and knock out the white block directly underneath the arm on the far left and far right edge of the legs that go down. I think that'll make it look the best. That'll make it look the most star-like, and that's pretty much what you're going to have. Now, from this point forward, I'm going to go ahead and speed it up, because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill in all of this empty space that you can see here that has nothing in it with blue wool. And that's going to be it. And then we'll go ahead and showcase it, and I hope you guys like it. So this is what the logo turned out like. I'm very pleased with the way it looks. The one thing I wish that could have happened is that star in the hat could have been a little bit tilted so that it matched the logo exactly. But for the most part, I think it turned out very, good. I think that it looks fantastic. I want to thank Angel for his suggestion to build this logo. I hope that he likes this. And I hope that you guys like it. I hope you'll try to build it on your maps if you're a Patriots fan, or even if you just like the NFL in general. As always, it's been a pleasure. Remember to like and subscribe, and definitely take care and enjoy the Super Bowl.